Who's it from?
It doesn't say.
You found him.
Chucky's my friend till the end. Hey, wanna play? Can't we sleep in with you tonight?
It's only a storm. Good night, baby. Sweet dreams.
Don't forget Chucky.
It's a doll. What's the worst that can happen, huh?
Woo! That trailer is just so awesome every time I watch it, even though the movie's already out and everything. Well, if you couldn't tell by the trailer you just watched, let me spell it out for you. My review is for Curse of Chucky. Now, the Child's Play films have always been a favorite of mine, especially the first three. The first one, introduces the character and everything and shows you what they're really capable of pulling off. Then you go to the second one and Chucky just becomes a badass. I mean, he's killing people, he knows what his goal is, and goddamn it, he's gonna get it done. The third one, a lot of people say is the weakest. I would say that it would be the weakest out of the trilogy, but if you go with all 5 movies from Seed to the first one, it is actually better than Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. Now don't get me wrong, Bride of Chucky was a film that was good with the comedy and it was pretty good, but it changed a lot of the rules from the first 3 films. But it was still entertaining. Then you get to Seed of Chucky, and I'm thinking that the creators and the directors, producers, and everybody was smoking some fucking crack when they came up with it. Chucky has a kid who doesn't want to kill. They decided they're going to live in Hollywood and become famous people. And then finally, at the 5 movies, Chucky realizes that he's a killer doll. And that's better because he can keep coming back to life than going back in a human body. What the fuck? Seed of Chucky just does not belong in the canon. Even though it's going to be there forever, it's been made. To me, it does not belong in the canon. Now, as of my first one, this is a non-spoiler free. There are spoilers everywhere. So if you do not want to see spoilers, or you haven't watched the movie yet, I'll give you time. Go watch the movie. For people who do stick around, here it is. My personal review for Curse of Chucky. This is the Anal Retentive Gamer. Alright, let's see. The plot, okay? The plot is, actually it's very simple, but it is kind of confusing. From sources I read from what the director said, apparently this movie is supposed to take place after the 3rd film and erase the 4th and 5th film. Or other people consider it taking place afterwards because it's the 6th film in the series. But it technically is a sequel-prequel. It is a sequel to the 3rd movie, sorry, my bad. And it also is a prequel that takes place before the events of 4 and 5. 4 and 5 might still happen, but they do not happen. Hopefully that this movie, gets a sequel. And I did read last night that on a tweet that the director, Don Massera, has said that Alice, Nika, and even Brad Dourif are expected to return, and all the unanswered questions will be answered in part 7. So, hey, they got the series going again, and it's gone from slapstick humor to back to horror. Now, like I said, slapstick humor is okay. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead series. But with Chucky, you can put comedy in, but not that much. Now, on with the plot. A delivery truck shows up to a house that's pretty far out there, and a girl named Nika answers the door, signs the package for her mother. Her mother takes the box, they exchange a couple words and everything, kind of being rude to each other because she's been in a chair all her life. And she opens the box and finds none other than Chucky. She looks at the doll, looks brand new, never seen before. She doesn't know where it's from. And instead of sending the doll back, they decide to keep it to give it to Nika's little niece Alice. Okay. So they go to bed for the night, and Nika hears a scream in the middle of the night. So she gets up to check her mom's room. Now I will mention this, if you pause the movie as she's opening the door to check on her mom, you will notice that they fucked up in the movie. Nika's supposed to be in a wheelchair for life. But yet, the way she is standing in the height of the door, she is actually standing. So they fucked that up. And that's something a little nifty that you can go and check out if you want. But she opens the door, finds her mom's not there. So she wheels herself to the elevator, takes it down, finds her mom stabbed to death with a pair of scissors and dead on the floor. She freaks the fuck out, calls the ambulance. Now, as it's doing this, the camera slowly pans to Chucky, who's sitting on a chair like normal. And I love how they do this, because they do the curse of Chucky as it's there, and then they slowly rotate around the doll, around Chucky, as they're telling you who's starring in it. And as you're doing it, you're also seeing the cops show up and grabbing the body and getting it out of there and everything. And it was really well done, and I really liked it. Good job. Now, after that, of course, there's going to be a funeral, so her sister Barb, her husband, their nanny, and her daughter Alice show up to, say their goodbyes and everything. And they show up to see Nika throwing away all of her mom's paint stuff and telling Barb that she was okay. She was okay. She was fine. She was taking her pills. I don't get it. So they believe their mom committed suicide. Okay. Well, Alice has to go to the bathroom, so the nanny and the dad decide to take her there. As she's in the bathroom, she looks around, and Chucky makes his grand appearance to her. She takes the doll downstairs. Nika, it's like, "Oh, you found him. Yeah, he was in the bathroom." Her first words are, "Really? That's weird." Along with my words after that would have been, "Give me the fucking doll. We're not keeping it." But hey, she just thought it was a weird coincidence. The mom is actually being smart, Barb, and she's like, you need to send that back. It's not yours, and you have too many dolls as it is. And the dad, who's the stupidest motherfucker in the whole movie, says the worst line ever. It's a doll. What's the worst that can happen? What the fuck? Dude, seriously? Okay, fine. Well, as you're going out through the movie, she suggests that, they'll make dinner for everybody, including Father Frank, who she has to stay for dinner. Father Frank was brought from the church to help them in their time of grieving. Nika takes Alice and Chucky to make dinner. So they decide to make dinner, and they make homemade chili con queso, I think it is. Now, as they go to set the table, of course, you see the doll hand, Chucky, pouring rat poison in a random bowl. Now, I like this because this right here proves that Chucky's a badass. He doesn't care who he kills. He just randomly poured rat poison, and whoever gets the freaking bowl, is gonna die. So, they pass out all the food on to the table and everything, and they get ready to eat, and the dad keeps making comments to the nanny, like, "Oh, wow, really? I do too. That's great. This is awesome." And it seems like that this guy is boning the nanny. That might be why the husband and the wife are having some marital problems, huh? Well, Father Frank keeps looking at Alice and keeps looking at Chucky. It's like, that doll looks really familiar. And the dad pops off, "Oh, it's a good guy doll. Those were great in the 80s. My brother had one." And the nanny, "Mine did too." "Really? Wow, that's so amazing." So they start eating. And it's really good. They all enjoy it. This is the only problem I had with the movie, is it seemed to take too long for you to find out who got the rat poison. First, the dad takes a couple bites and goes, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god." And they're like, What? This is the best thing I've ever tasted. Okay, that was fine. Then Alice starts eating it and goes, "It tastes funny. Maybe we used too much oregano." And the mom's like, "Don't know, Alice, eat it." Forcing her to eat it even though she doesn't like the taste. Okay, that was a false alarm. So they just keep eating, and they keep, for some reason, showing us their mouth eating it. I really don't need you guys to show me them eating it. Just tell me who fucking got it. Finally, Father Frank starts sweating. Not only did he get the rat poison, but he realized what the doll was and remembered Chucky. He apologizes for the rude inconvenience, says he has a patient that he needs to tend to, and leaves. Later on, you find out that he ended up getting in a car crash because of the rat poisoning and got decapitated when they tried to pull him apart and save him. That sucks. Anyway, after dinner and everything, they decide to watch some home movies, and Chucky goes missing, and they go looking all around the house. The nanny does, and she can't find him. The nanny tells the mom she can't find anything, and then BOW! That's where the twist comes in. It was the mom who was fucking the nanny, not the dad. Which actually is pretty cool. It's usually always the husband who's fucking around, and it turns out, but this time, no. The mom is having sex with the nanny. That's awesome. Anyway, they decide to take, Nika takes Chucky back to him and puts her back in the bed, and Barb, tells, Alice goodnight, gives Chucky a kiss, and goes away. And the one part of the movie that is confusing is Alice gets too scared and throws the blanket over her, turns the light on, and she tells Chucky that she is scared. Chucky laughs off his head and says, "You fucking should be." If you're trying to get in nice with the kid, why the fuck are you scaring her to death, huh? Well, after everything, and they get the doll back and everything, and Barb decides to go to bed, the nanny goes into the room, and she undressed, and you think she's gonna browse the web. No, she's video chatting the wife. So they're making kiss gestures and everything until Barb sees something walk across the screen. So she tries to signal to the nanny she's up. She goes, "You too." No, she's up. So she doesn't get what she's saying until she sees, looks like this, scary, and sees Chucky, who kicks over a bucket of water that was catching the rainwater, goes into the circuit outlet, and since it's an old house, it ends up frying the nanny. Chucky makes his quip and leaves. After this, Barb wakes up because all the power went out, and the husband's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm gonna go check on Alice." "What about the nanny? What about her?" Isn't she paid to take care of the kid?" And they have that whole spiel until he lets her know that he put a nanny cam in the doll just to prove what's going on, and he can take Alice away from her. So she still goes to check. She knows, she goes there. For some reason, she hears noises in the attic. So she goes up to the attic. She finds nothing but the Chucky doll. Now, this is where another cool twist comes in. She starts peeling away at Chucky's skin to realize that he was wearing a face underneath. He has all his scars and everything that have been redefined for this movie, and his fucked up face. When she goes to peel at his mouth again, he bites at her. She freaks out, and, he kills her. Nika goes, wailing around, and, oh, no, I'm sorry, actually, wow, I fucked up. I just watched the movie recently, too. Nika has finally had enough about this doll, so she goes online to check about Chucky. She finds all these things about it, and before she can click on a picture of Charles Lee Ray, who is someone that they saw in the home videos, the power went out. She goes up to the attic, calling for Barb, Oh, wait, no, actually, what she does is before she goes up to the attic, confronts Nika like, "Did you know about this? Did you know what she did?" She said, "Put the fucking doll down," trying to tell her, no, put the doll down. Where Barb thinks Nika knew about the nanny cam. Then she goes up to the attic and gets killed. After that, she crawls her way up the stairs, because the elevator's not working, to the attic door calling for Barb. An eyeball drops down, and then Barb's dead body falls on top of Nika. Chucky's there, makes his grand appearance, and starts stalkingly walking down there. Nika grabs her chair and rolls herself, to safety. She goes to Ian, who is the husband, wake him up to let him know. Ian carries her downstairs to her other chair, and takes her to the garage where they're going to go drive off, but he needs to go find his daughter first. He leaves, Chucky gets in the car, turns it on, and tries to suffocate her with the garage trick. He fails, he eats the keys. Ian, all of a sudden, for some reason, assumes that Nika's the one who did all this. So she's starting to have her heart problems. She asks him to put the freaking adrenaline in her rib cage, and he doesn't, and she passes out. She wakes up tied to her chair with Ian right there. He's like, you know what, I'm going to prove this, and turns on the nanny cam. He checks all the footage until he sees the part where Alice is in a closet, and Chucky says, just fucking stay put, and he shuts the door and locks it. The dad decides to switch to a live feed where the camera is panning into the room he's at. Before he gets a chance to turn around, Chucky pushes the chair to the dad, and he does a flip like this and lands on the ground. Chucky takes the axe from the garage and says, say hello to the wife for me, and cuts his lower jaw off. Looks pretty cool too, pretty fucking gruesome. And then looks at Nika and says it's her turn. She deflects the axe and sticks it in her leg. She knocks Chucky's head off, and this is another problem I have too. I thought that he was becoming human. And if this is, if he was just recently built a day ago, yeah, that would make sense. But his head gets knocked completely off like a doll. And he puts it back on. He rolls her and pushes her off the balcony. He slowly walks downstairs, and then he reveals why he's doing this, which is a good part of the movie. He basically explains how he was a friend of the family's. He killed their dad, and Charles Lee Ray was with their mom. Her mom was pregnant with Nika, and he was going to go pick up Barb. The mom had called the police and needed to buy time. However, this proves to find out that this is when he was running away from Mike from the first Child's Play. He stabs the mom and the baby, runs off, then he ends up getting killed and put in a doll. 20 years later, he gets his revenge by killing the mother and killing everybody else. And now Nika's the last one standing. Before he can kill Nika, he mentions about Andy, and she uses her psychology knowledge to say, oh, so you have completion anxiety. It's common in males. You never killed Andy, did you? Which stops him for a second until she keeps fucking with him, and then she says, what were you waiting for, a sign of God? The electricity turns on for a few minutes, and she crawls her way into the elevator. He starts cutting at her hands and everything, and she literally grabs the knife with her hand and rips it away from him. She grabs the knife, pulls the knife like this, and she's like, and he's like, okay, so they have a one-on-one fight. He bites her, scratches her eye, and she stabs him in the back where just stuffing comes out. The cop, who discovered the father's death and everything, who was trying to figure out what's going on, decides to go up to the house where he hears screams. He comes into the room to see Chucky no longer there, Nika sitting there, bloody, holding a bloody knife, and there's all kinds of dead bodies. Of course, what would you think? So they go to a court trial where she's proven guilty of murdering everybody and sent to a mental hospital. All the evidence is there, the rat poisoning, the knife, the axe, and Chucky. But she gets willed away, and as she's getting willed away, she tells Chucky, I'm still alive. Ha, I'm still alive. Going nuts. After that, the cop decides to take Chucky in a plastic bag and take him into a cop car. And when I saw this part, I knew it was going to happen next, and I'm kind of disappointed. He makes a call telling that he better have his money. Then all of a sudden, Tiffy comes from behind and slices his throat. Now, Don Mancera, the creator, the director, if you're watching this, why the hell, I get Bride of Chucky was good, but why the hell, if you're trying to reboot Chucky, would you bring Tiffany back into the mix, even if all she is doing is helping him? Why? I like Jennifer Tilly, she's really hot, and she's a good actress, but you could be starting a downward spiral again of fucking these movies up if at some point you bring Tiffany back in doll form. Don't do it. So, that's what she does. She boxes him up and sends him to another house, where in the end you see he's there with Alice. She asks, where Grandma? He said, oh, Grandma's busy in the basement. So he asks her to play Hide the Soul. She agrees. He starts doing the chant. Ali, Dewey, Dembala, give me the power, I beg of you, that crap. Camera slowly pans away to show the grandma who has a plastic bag over her head and she screams. Then the credits roll. Thanks for a confusing ending. What the fuck? Did he get away with it? Did he kill the grandma and start again? What's going on? And, Alice likes Chucky, but, he was a real dick to her, so why? And all of her family members are dead, and Nika's in the hospital, and she believes Nika did it. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be a sequel, because there's a lot of unanswered questions. But the best part, and this best part of the video right here, is that, okay, let me get it close. This is cool. There is an after credit shot, and it says 6 months later, and this nice little girl arrives to this house, 869, and hands a box to a guy. Hands the box to the guy, and he's like, oh, thank you. Maybe you won something. He's like, yeah, maybe. Now, we are Barkley. It is Andy Barkley. The guy Chucky never was able to kill. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to show you the scene. Right here, right now.
Package for you.
Really?
Maybe you want something.
Must be my lucky day.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Hello? Oh, hi, Mom. How you doing?
Boy, oh boy, one of you.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't call. I meant to. Yeah, I'm definitely coming for my birthday tomorrow. No, don't get me anything. Do me a favor, Mom. No surprises.
Hey,
Okay?
Herbie, remove the derby.
Yeah. I'll be there like noon, 1. What are you making for dinner? Yeah. How's Mike doing? I'll tell him I said hello. Yeah.
Well, soda pop.
All right.
Come on, open up.
Well, I'll see you around that time. Okay. Yeah. Play with this.
Andy! Wasn't that awesome? That was freaking awesome. Not only does he still not get to kill Chucky, sorry, Andy, but Chucky gets a shotgun to the face because Andy's not stupid. He knew what the package was and everything. And if you paid attention to the clip, halfway through it, he stops talking for a second. And then he keeps talking. What he did was, he was done talking on the phone. He just acted like he was still talking on the phone and tricked Chucky. Chucky still doesn't get Andy, and Andy still comes out on top. It would be really nice, though, to have Andy in the next film. Have Andy show up because he knows Chucky's back. And he's gonna kick some ass and everything. Kind of like, Halloween H2O, I believe it is. Yeah, because, Michael might have came to her, but it was one final stand, and Jamie Lee Curtis's character kicked some serious ass. And that's another topic for another day, because Resurrection should have never happened. But anyway, here we are at the end. My final review for Curse of Chucky is a 9 good guy dolls out of 10. It is a damn good movie and totally worth all your money. If you were a fan of Chucky when he first came out, this movie is for you. If you were a fan of the original first 3 movies, this movie's for you. If you're a fan of all 5 movies, hey, you can see the Chucky and Bride Chucky all you want. This movie is still good. It goes back to Chucky's horror roots. He's still got his comedy. It's got a good story. And actually, this all takes place in one day. Chucky becomes more badass because he pulls all this off in one day. And in the end, he might get shot by Andy. But in the end, he does not die. This is the first time Chucky doesn't die. He went from getting shot in the heart, set on fire, body parts blown off, to getting melted and blown up, to getting ripped apart by a razor fan, to being shot 6 times, to being chopped apart, to not dying. So I really would love to see what the next sequel is. And I really would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And pretty soon here, about another 2 weeks or so, Anal Retentive Gamer episode 2 will be up. Well, that's about it. Leave a comment. Oh, and send me an email at theanalretentivegamer.com if you'd like to talk to me more about this awesome movie and what you think that they can do afterwards. I'd love to hear from you. See you later.